Well, today it is an iconic sports and entertainment brand that stretches across 7 continents. But in the 1970s, ESPN, well, it was a crazy idea that was being pitched to cable operators by Bill Rasmussen, a DePauw University graduate. The man who launched a sports empire has been back on the Greencastle campus as an executive in residence. And when I sat down with him earlier this week, he told me his big break came with the arrival of something called a satellite dish.
And probably one of the key things that happened is they said, I'll give you the phone number of the guy in New York at RCA. And I called him and he came up and met, and everything took off from that point. We could not believe it. I'd been in the television business for a long time, and radio business. And to take a signal from New York to Pittsburgh to Los Angeles, Chicago, and so on, really, really an expensive item to do. And this gentleman said, I have to, let me show you. You get one transponder on our satellite and just look at the entire North American continent. No links, no lines, no anything. You're in everyone's home. Okay, sounded like a pretty good idea.
What gave you the courage, the determination to really pursue this idea?
Well, the impetus came from getting fired from my job with the New England Whalers. I had 3 kids in school, and they ate every day. It was really intriguing. And of course, as you well know, everyone said it'll never work. And one of the intriguing things, and you would appreciate this, everyone said, who's going to watch 24-hour sports? Who's going to watch sports 24 hours? Well, no one, obviously. They didn't get the idea because if you recall, the TV stations all signed off at 1 o'clock or midnight. That was it. And here we were saying, you come in at 2 o'clock in the morning, there'll be sports. You wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, there'll be sports. They didn't get that at the beginning. Once that light that switch went on, and I think it happened with the 1980 NCAA tournament. That was the first tournament that we had at the end of the 79-80 season. And that grew into what today is March Madness with a vengeance. But we did every single game, teams people had never heard of, and they couldn't believe it.
I know you have a lot of interesting stories from those early days in the creation, the formation of ESPN. Share a couple of your favorites, if you would.
We went to TV Guide. We were very aggressive. We wanted to tell everybody we were doing this. We mailed things. We did everything we could because we couldn't email. We didn't have all that stuff. So TV Guide, the magazine, you remember what it was like, I'm sure. We said, we've got to get listed. People are saying, how can we find out what game is on? What about this? What about that? Well, we're going to go to TV Guide. TV Guide, we met many, many times. But the first time we went there, they said, we can't list you. So why can't you list us? They said, because real networks only have 3 letters. This was a guy who paid a lot of money to make decisions, and he said, that's what he told us. So we kept going back and going back, and they finally said, all right, because they were getting pressure from people too, why we can't find ESPN? So they finally agreed to list us. You know how they listed us? ESN. 3 letters. They decided we were a real network, but they couldn't give us our 4 letters, of course. That all changed.
What advice do you share with young potential entrepreneurs in terms of the things that they should really focus on?
A lot of people ask that very same question, and I encourage them to ask questions. And they have to be passionate about their idea. If I came to you and I said, Gary, I've got this idea, and I kind of might think it might work, but I'd really like to have you invest in it so I know I have money. And so you'd probably say, it doesn't sound so exciting to me. So I tell them, to have passion. They don't have to know everything. They don't have to have all those facts in mind before they start that we talked about before. They can find those things out if they ask questions. Always be curious, ask. But you have to have the passion, and you can't give up. You can't be discouraged. I think I had more no's than we have subscribers today. No one believed it was going to work. And for some reason, every time someone said no, that just made me want to do it even more. And so I encourage those things, ask questions, and just never give up.